Welcome, guys, back to Fake Tea Lounge. Today we are talking about
simulation theory and Gaia theory,
which is something that I believe is really cool. Both of them. Let's go straight into simulation first.
All right.
Now, to my knowledge, or the first time I heard about it was when Elon Musk brought it up. This is what I'm when I was in high school. So what, 8, 5, 6, 7, a few years back, right? And he said that simulation
I knew nothing
theory,
about that, by the way.
Yeah.
Wow.
In short, simulation theory is our civilization one day sooner or later, right? If it's 1,000 years, if it's 5,000, if it's 10,000 years, right? If we're still here, we will have technology so advanced we could create a simulation that simulates life like this, right? Theoretically speaking. So theoretically speaking of that, if Earth is around for that long, then are we living in a simulation? Possibly. You know what I mean? Like, because who knows, right? I mean, I don't think we are, but it's just it's food for thought that, like,
Yeah, it's a thought experiment.
it's very enjoyable. I mean, what do you think on it?
I'll say Elon is a very eccentric thinker, and honestly, that's what makes him so great in a lot of ways. That's why he was able to, make SpaceX the success that it is, make Tesla the success that it is. He's a pioneer of the future, right? Now, as far as specifically simulation theory, I think it's bullshit. Me personally,
Yeah.
I think that, in the theory that's like framed by Nick Bostrom, he one of the things he says the probability. So an advanced civilization would create billions of simulations, right? And he said that the probability that we're living in something other than the base reality, which is non-simulated, would be low. Now, that's where I disagree with him. I think the probability being low is definitely not based on enough concrete scientific evidence. And also, there's a lot of different things, right, that I really don't agree with. I think there would be a lot of ways for us to disprove this, to find glitches in the matrix, as they say.
Yeah.
So
I like that.
yeah, so I think, I don't know. For me, there's an overwhelming lack of evidence, and it's kind of like too much conjecture, too much like guessing in the dark. And as far as the probability, I mean, one of the things he says, right, is that the probability is low. Now, when I did more and more research into this, I was trying to understand his logic behind it. I was like, why does he think the probability is low? Where does this come from? What's his evidence? What's his logic behind why the probability is low? And the more I researched, the more I realized I was like, no, this is just like his opinion. Like the actual probability of us living in a simulation is extremely low, and the idea of an advanced civilization creating billions and billions of simulations also is extremely low. So, like you said, it's more of like a thought experiment more than anything actually real.
Now, this goes into the question because I think we covered simulation. I just think it's interesting. I think in certain ways it makes sense, but because look, there's so many NPCs, or just non-playable characters. There's so many people that just do the same shit every day. Like, you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Like,
it's just like
I know what you mean.
It's weird, but I mean, again, I don't think we are, but it's very interesting because it's just interesting because there's so many people that have such shit characters, and it's like, who would want to play that character? You know what I mean?
It seems like there's not that much like difference in personality between certain people, right? And I've worked at different places, whether it's Marshalls, different places, but you work with certain people and you're just like, they don't really have uniqueness. They don't really. I mean, it seems fake. You know what I'm trying to say? It seems like they kind of do the same things every day. They're just like you said, they're NPCs. And then when you look at them, it kind of confuses you. It's like, what's going on? I get what you're saying. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's kind of hard to explain what you're trying to say, but I get what you're saying. Like, I've met so-called NPCs, and it's kind of like confusing talking to them. It's like, do they have a brain of their own?
Exactly.
Are they really thinking of this thing? Or are they just kind of like, oh, yeah, I work at banking. Oh, I work at this. And then it's like, oh, I'm part of this culture. Oh, I'm going to marry an Indian person because I'm Indian. It's like they don't really think. They're just almost like, they're like playing a role. They're not really like,
picture.
It almost feels like they're not even a person.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like, yeah. So I get what you're saying.
This goes to my second question is, you know how like the Big Bang Theory?
Yeah.
You know how it's like, oh, like it started from like a dot. I always remember when I was in middle school or whatever, the teacher was like, oh, the Big Bang started like at the tip of a pencil, like a dot, and like everything just came. I was like, Okay, this is what bothers me. That's what we believe, right? What was there before? Was it just blank? Was it like? Because look. Hold up.
But it's a theory.
It is there.
Well, like, listen. There's theories in the past that scientists said it's the truth. Like, Galileo used to say the Earth is round, right? Or he used to also say that the sun was in the center because they used to believe that the Earth is in the center, right? He almost got hung for that. Like, he almost got destroyed for that. And they were saying that this was fact. So now is not too different. The problem with humans, we were talking about human nature last episode, but one of the things about human nature is, especially lately, people think they're a lot smarter than what they are.
Yeah.
Like, you also gave me a book today, Latsu, and it said one of the things that it said, I'm going to connect this actually, because it said basically like, the common folk are the ones who are wise. The scholarly are the ones that think they're wise. And I thought that was really interesting because I feel like you also see it today, right? Especially with a lot of people that like, I don't know, want to disparage the other political party or whatever. They kind of have this like holier art thou kind of thing.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, we're an academic, we're this, we're that, like. And listen, I graduated from my bachelor's, and they don't really understand that people have different like viewpoints. But back to what I was saying, as far as the Big Bang Theory, it's a scientific theory that is widely accepted right now by the scientists right now. There might be a theory later that disproves that, and people don't think of that. People are like, oh no, Big Bang Theory. Like, if you oppose it, then you're just like, what do they call that when you oppose like the Big Bang Theory or evolution, for example?
That I don't know, but I know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But here's my second question is because I'm not Christian. Is there a Christian belief that Jesus created everything, or is this completely separate? Is there that belief in Christianity?
So some Christians believe, I think Jesus is God, and if there's Christians in the comments or whatever following us, subscribe to us, like they can correct me if you want. But as far as I know, some Christian denominations believe that Jesus is God. Some believe that Jesus is the Son of God. Now, if Jesus is God, technically Jesus is God, and God created everything. God was the beginning. God created the beginning. So,
this is because I want to bring this in. Then, when did God first have record of God?
I think God was always there. That's the belief.
But Jesus appeared.
Kind of like Tao, but
you know how like Jesus is like BC is before Christ, right? BC.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And the AD is after death.
Before Christus,
if I'm correct on that.
You said after death?
Yeah. Isn't it? AD?
I'm not sure if it's after death. I think it's after diadem or something else. I know that before Christus, you're right. But is it after death?
So BC stands for, before Christ.
And then I think that's Anto Domini.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know what that translates to.
AD stands for...
The year of our Lord?
Before Christ. Years after birth, not after his death. Oh, the year after he was born. AD after. Okay, so
it's not after death.
It's after he was born.
Okay.
To what I just read, but
what does Anno Domini mean? Year of the Lord. Year of the Lord. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So the year of the Lord was
because Anno is year and then Domini is Lord. I think.
Okay. So today we're at 2025. Does that mean civilization? But you said Jesus, God's Son, and
that's what I used to believe.
But is that in the belief of?
There's different interpretations of the Bible. So some Bible verses say that Jesus is God; they're one and all. Some people believe in the Holy Trinity, like you mentioned a lot, and then some people believe that they're kind of separate.
Because this goes to my question.
Or some people believe that they're separate. Some people believe that they're seperate and the same. It's confusing, which is a lot of the reason why I left the religion in the first place. But
let me ask my question.
Yeah, ask your question.
If Jesus only appeared 2,000 years ago, so what is the, because I'm not Christian, I don't know, then what is the God before that? Then does it mean that years before didn't count? Or like,
that's a good question.
Did God create the universe? Or like,
I would say that God always existed before it anyways. It's just that Jesus was a messenger and he basically told everyone, hey, that this is the God you should be worshiping.
Aside from that, so in Christian belief, is there a belief that God created everything?
Yes.
From the Big Bang?
Not from the Big Bang. A lot of Christians, as far as I know, don't believe in the Big Bang. There are some exceptions, but...
I'm just curious, do you know in Christian culture or religion, where did everything come from?
I think,
Because I know a lot believe.
as far as I know, I think it came from nothing. As far as I know,
How does that work?
I think God created. So the light came. The Bible verse goes, in the beginning there was nothing, and then there was something, or then there was light. I think it was so. God basically, there was all darkness,
Yeah.
and then God created the light out of the darkness, and then God created the sky, God created the earth, God created the planets.
So you create one planet and
Animals.
the whole universe. This goes. Another question is: you remember Men in Black? One of the Men in Blacks. You remember the ending where it's zoomed out? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think so. That's a
Where
later
it's
one.
zoomed out
One
like
of the later ones.
really far.
Yeah.
And then zoomed out to different universes. Zoomed out to balls being played by aliens, and zoomed out the furthest. We were all on like a cat's collar. It was just a shining ball, and we were all just in there. It was like that's really cool. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Vaguely.
It's just like
it's
zoomed
one of the
out
late. It's like Men in Black
super
3, I
far.
think.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
It's like we're not specking, we're specking literally.
I watched it in the movies with you, actually. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just no, I doubt that was a long time ago, right? Or no?
No. It was one of the later Men in Blacks.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. But it's an interesting thought. It's like, oh, there's so many. Because like, dude, did the Big Bang come from nothing? How did it come? How did everything just come? One day did it just chemical reaction? What was there before?
Also, to clarify,
This goes into simulation theory. Like, how did everything come? Or are we programmed
that is
to
trippy.
know?
That is trippy.
Right?
Yeah, I never really thought that.
Because this is bigger than what came first, the chicken or the egg?
Yeah.
Right? I'd say organisms. I was trying to say organ. But
This guy's mind somewhere else.
no organisms. Yeah, I mean that means who came first?
Oh, please clip that.
That makes sense. But yeah, no, like the chicken or the egg, right?
Yeah.
Which one came 1st? Mm-hmm. It doesn't make sense, but
The chicken. I'm sorry.
makes sense, right? It's just this goes in a whole picture of like why things exist, right? Because evolution, but evolution,
Just to clarify about the Jesus thing, right? Because you were like, you were saying how like, asking me questions about the Christianity thing. So yeah, Jesus did say about God and like to worship God and God created everything. But to clarify, Jesus also, what do you call it? Jesus also spread random messages as well, like peace and love and all these different things that were unrelated. So like it's also up for interpretation because I don't think Jesus' main focus was also the God thing.
Yeah.
So, because the God thing, you have to remember there's the Old Testament and the New Testament. The New Testament is more for
hold on.
Jesus, and the Old Testament's very different too.
gosh,
The
before
God
I
in the
forget-
Old Testament killed babies. I mean, he was
Before
different.
I forget, I need to ask: does
Yeah.
God have a name, or is it just God?
It's God.
It's just God.
But I think I have to look into different names. There's like Hebrew names for it. There's different that.
'Cause, like-
I think God is the English version.
Because like God is like, you know, we're like, oh, it's a God of blah blah blah, God, right? Is God the name of Jesus' dad?
Yes.
That's just his name.
Yes.
Damn, that's cool. I actually didn't know. I just saw
English version, yes.
What's his like OG name?
Oh man, that's a good. I mean, I know Jesus was like Yeshua or something. Might have been. That might be God. Actually, you can look it up. This is a perfect time to
Isn't
look it
Jesus
up.
like that's his name?
Just look up like Yeshua. It should pop up. Look up Yeshua. Or I don't know. I forget.
Okay.
Elohim. That's. Oh, yeah, I think it is Elohim.
For the most high. Oh. But it's a meaning of like the most high.
What about like Yeshua? Look up Yeshua. I want to see what
I don't know how to spell it.
Yeshua. So what does that mean?
Jesus. It just means Jesus.
Is that the actual name of
Correct.
Jesus?
Variant of Joshua, Greek. The Passion of the Christ. See, I don't know.
So it is. I think it's Jesus' name, Yeshua. Yeah.
But what's God's name? He's just
Elohim,
God.
or I guess it's Elohim. Yeah. Or
I'm
Adonai.
going deep, but does that
Yeah.
mean God was Jewish? Because he has.
Well, Christianity, I think Jesus was Jewish. I think
Why
Jesus
would he
was
have a
Jewish.
religion if he created everything? He shouldn't have like a race, right? He should just. Be
I think he was like
the eternal.
maybe ethnicity. Maybe his ethnicity.
Would he have
is
an
Jewish even
ethnicity?
ethnicity? I think it is actually.
Would he have an ethnicity? Like, wouldn't God be like, out of all the universe and out of all the aliens that exist in our systems of galaxies and everything, God would choose to be a human?
I know. I mean, I don't
You know
believe
what I
in.
mean?
I
Like,
don't believe in
this
Christianity.
goes crazy, but
I don't believe in Christianity anymore.
this
for a lot
goes
of reasons,
crazy
yeah.
because
So,
I mean, who wrote the Bible?
yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, I respect it, but this goes into crazy thought like what actually exists in the world. It's a brain fuck, you know. And this is what I want to talk about, which leads us into Gaia theory, which I don't know how many of you have heard of that. It was based on the entire movie of Kingsman 1.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Where Earth is this super organism. I was about to say super organism.
What was that name of the guy that made up Gaia theory?
I don't know.
James
Something Lovelock.
James Lovelock.
Yeah. What a cool last name.
Yeah.
But I just thought Lockwood. That was Jurassic Park. But it's a theory of how Earth is like a super organism, just like us, right? If we get sick, we have fevers because fevers, if you raise the body temperature, you kill off bad stuff, right?
Correct.
And Earth is a super organism. It raises temperature to give us. This is a whole separate topic of global warming, but Earth raises temperatures using earthquakes, natural disasters, diseases, or like we talked about last episode, last 2 episodes, human nature of wars, or just ways people kill each other, or like lessen life in a way.
Interesting.
Which this is something really interesting because this was even a movie, right? Kingsman was a big movie, and it was talking about, it was basically you get rid of human life first. So they made the phone sim to make people kill each other first before the Earth creates actual disasters and we're too far from, because it's interesting, right? Think about Earth, right? Earth.
Is there scientific evidence for this though?
You can say scientific if you have hurricanes. You can be like, hurricanes are scientific. Does that count? I don't think so. It's just an interesting thing because I guess this is a way to say like people who don't believe in global warming. It's really they think like we're getting punished. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm talking about. But it's interesting because it's like we torture Earth so much, but Earth always gives life, right? Soil, dirt, and we came from Earth some way, somehow. Who knows, right? We technically came from the oceans in books. We came from the oceans, right? Or some jellyfish,
correct.
blah blah blah, jellyfish, shark. I think shark and jellyfish are one of the oldest animals. But point is, we came from the ocean. We came from Earth, right?
Correct.
This goes to another theory. Did life come from an asteroid that hit Earth like billions of years ago, and life came out? Who knows? Again, we're getting super off topic.
Yeah, that's not what the current scientific research says. But
yeah, but it's just, dude, there's so much like thought, like how the fuck. Again, are we in a simulation? Who fucking knows?
Yeah.
Right? We came from Earth, so technically Earth is life-giving. Then does that mean it's life? You feel me? Like it somewhat makes sense in the bigger picture. It's like Earth is giving. Earth gives life. We came from Earth. Then does that mean Earth is alive? And if Earth is alive, I mean, we do say it's a she, right? I mean, we say even America's a she. Are we the virus on Earth that torture it with what we do?
I think we didn't have to be, but we have become that.
Yeah.
I think that's my theory.
We couldn't coexist.
There's too much. We should have coexisted a lot more, but instead we kind of like destroy trees. We've become a parasite.
Yeah.
But we should have been with the jaguars, with the monkeys. We should have been with the trees. We should have been more coexisting.
Aligned with nature, I guess.
Where we should be way more aligned with nature, and I think also mental health issues would decline big time if we were closer to nature.
Yeah.
And so there's actually a movie I watched, Princess Kaguya, and it was actually about this theme like that. It's a very old movie, I think. It's from 1972, I think, but it just talks about like when people go to the big city, right? When people go to the big city and you're too much in the big city, you kind of lose sense of self. You lose your connection to nature, and it's a problem. It's a problem.
Isn't there? I know it was from a clip from a movie. If you say old, it was black and white too. It's like, don't ever move to a big city. Once you go there, you'll never leave. It's a prison. It locks you there. I mean, it's true. I'm not gonna leave a big city. There's no one leaving a big city. The ease of it. It makes sense, but it's also like, yeah, duh. If you're in a big city, unless you want quiet and peace, you can go to farm. If you like it, you always stay there. It makes sense, but it's just, again, the Gaia theory is very interesting because it kind of makes sense in a way.
Well, to me, it's like the theory that the part of the theory that interests me the most is that Earth is. It's assumed in this theory that Earth is basically like a self-sustaining entity.
Yeah.
So like we're things on that breathing and living entity, and it's almost like taking care of itself, right? Whether it's through an earthquake, whether it's trying to rebalance itself, and like you said, like diseases like depopulates things because if it doesn't, then something bad will happen. Otherwise, so it's just it's definitely like I will say it's one of the creepier things to think about.
Yeah.
Because I personally don't like thinking about it.
Like how we worry. One of the biggest things we worry about in climate change, global warming, is like how the sea is it called sea level that rises, and everyone's gonna get flooded except like Africa or something. But is this people's doing? Because see, like, look, this is what I think of. What people call global warming is to me it's simple. It's we create carbon dioxide and O2. Sorry, that's oxygen. We create carbon emissions, and it's in the ozone, right? And that breaks the ozone layer. Ozone layer breaks, more UV rays and heat comes in. We warm up. I don't think it's like too hard to understand because I think a lot of people when they talk about climate change are blaming this and that. It's simple as we're leaking holes in the ozone and things are coming in. That's it, right? This goes in effect as like, is Earth going to flood us all as part of the Gaia theory, or that's just simply our doing? We're just raising the temperature and we're causing messed up shit. You know how like midnight strikes or whatever? There's like a time thing. You ever heard of that? When the midnight struck zero, we're 11:59. Once it struck zero, like 12, we're done. Like global warming's done or something. And then they're like, what? We raise one more Fahrenheit, the world's gonna end or some shit.
I don't believe that. I think they're catastrophizing certain things in order to get more funding towards the global warming movement.
Yeah, because look, global warming, like, we've done this shit a lot.
Because they do this with a lot of things. Whether it's NFT, whether it's certain things, I think it is.
Fuck NFTs.
Yeah, it's global warming feels more like a trend than a real danger.
Yeah, I'll take it as a danger just because. I don't know. It's again. This goes in Gaia theory. It's like
Global warming is real. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Global warming is real.
Scientifically, it is real.
Yeah, global warming is real.
What do you think about those people that like spray oil and the gas things? What is it? Stop oil.
What are you talking about? Explain that.
You know the people that like sit in the roads. You know what I'm talking about? When they block cars and they block traffic. They have orange vests and it's like stop oil. You know
the protesters.
exactly. Yeah. Do you think they only care about oil or do they care about everything else? Because like that's not the only thing that's ruining the ozone layer. Right? There's a lot of other things in car emissions. Because I would argue this, right? You know how Teslas are supposed to be more eco-friendly? But after the car's done, that battery, most can't be recycled. It's pretty damaging to the environment too. You know what I mean?
I've heard about that, yeah.
And making them is pretty bad to the environment too. We're just digging. Like, obviously, I would say it's better than gas cars in many ways because it's
Yeah.
but like at the same time, if you really want to argue that the best way is just
you're the only
everyone's like,
person. You're the only person here that likes that. Vroom, vroom. I really don't. I mean, I don't like oil. I don't like gas. I don't like spending money on gas.
I've driven an electric car. Like it was fun, but after 2 years, I was like, it's not for me.
You're like that Lamborghini Taurus. You want your Porsche. You want.
It's just the sound, the feel, the car rumbling, knowing that you can have engine leaks of oil and maintenance issues and it's just cool. It's like so you're driving a machine, When you drive electric, I was like, I don't know. It's really cool. I love Teslas, but it's just like I'm not getting that.
EV cars are the future.
I beg to differ. People are going back to gas, right? California had like 2035, all cars should be EV. I think they canceled that. And then most cars were going down to smaller engines. They canceled that. And then a lot of cars are going like electric, like crappier brands. I don't want to name them, but they're still going electric. But most cars are going back to, not most, but a lot of brands are going back to gas because people realize charging's annoying. Gas, you fill up in 5 minutes and you go. And as long as gas prices are low, no one's going to really give a crap. You know what I mean? Like,
We'll see.
There's one thing that pisses me off though. You know, like F1, They keep trying to make the engines. I love F1. They keep trying to make the engines more like hybrid and like eco-friendly, which makes zero sense. They have like 200,000, 300,000 spectators. Think of every single person that takes a car, train, plane to get there to watch the race. Think about those emissions, and they're worrying about those 20 cars on the grid emissions. Like, come on, you know what I mean? Like that's
More,
like
but I think it's more of a statement by the company than anything else.
I know. It doesn't matter. Like we want to hear the. It used to be a V10 engine that sounded amazing.
Yeah.
That's a V6, and I don't know what.
For F1, it doesn't make sense because you're changing the sport. You're changing the sport.
Yeah, I appreciate technology because I think hybrid cars, that technology came from. If correct me if I'm wrong, came from F1. So like previous technology it trickled down, but again like this. Let's
Back
go
to the Gaia theory. Yeah.
Back to the Gaia theory is just. I think it's a very interesting theory. It's food for thought that it's like maybe it makes sense. You never know kind of situation. Because this goes in simulation, and this just goes a huge picture of how did life come from? Where did everything come from?
Yeah.
You know, like what triggered the explosion of ecosystems, galaxies, all these planets. There's uncountable planets, right? They said I don't know how many planets. They said there are billions, trillions of planets. Who knows, right? We've never been to the next galaxy. We're in the Milky Way. What about the next one?
Yeah.
Right. It's
But as
crazy.
far as the Gaia theory, there would be an opposition to a Gaia theory because Gaia theory basically implies that the Earth is a living being that regulates itself. It's like an entity in itself. Now, number one, it does seem a little bit superstitious, and it does seem spiritual. And another thing I would say is that what if the Earth is just a product of like what if it's not a living entity? What if it's just like a rock?
Yeah.
What if it's like a random rock that's causing random air hurricanes or something, or like causing randomness? What if it's not?
Maybe.
What if there's no order? What if there's no balance?
Exactly. This goes into another question.
That's another thing we can think about, right?
Yeah, let's go to another question. I don't care if they took out Pluto as a planet. I'll count it as a planet. I learned as a kid. It's a planet, right? So out of the 9 planets, I'm not even going to go to the thousands of other planets that are near us. Sorry, millions and billions of planets near us. Why is Earth the only one that has life and is able to sustain life? Mars can sustain life somewhat, question mark. Not really, kind of, I don't know. But why is Earth a perfect place for life?
They did find organisms, I think, in Mars,
They got water, so
like
frozen
bacterial
water,
organisms.
yeah.
So that's technically life.
So are they hiding underground?
Could be.
Right?
I don't know, but I think there is. I just read an article the other day that we received some weird radio signals from a planet pretty damn far away, but those signals are only from it could only be from another life. And we could also talk about this another time also, but
We'll do an episode on aliens or some stuff.
yeah.
Or-
Even though I don't really like talking about it, but
maybe I'm an alien. I don't know.
that would explain a lot.
Too smart. I'm kidding. I'm being a piece of shit.
But yeah, as far as like the Gaia theory, the Earth being a self-sustaining entity, I believe in it personally.
Yeah.
Because it just makes too much sense, and I've seen things, and the way Earth is operating right now, the way the Earth has a miraculous ability to repair itself.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, yeah, we can start wrapping things up.
Yeah. Let's wrap up this one. It's just simulation theory and Gaia theory and just where the hell life came from.
Yeah.
I mean, our end result, I don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know. It's just it's.
I mean, that's the beauty of it. That's the mystery of it.
And the most beautiful thing is we can argue about it, we can talk about it, and share our thoughts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I think that is why I don't think we're in a simulation, because we can talk about it. You know?
Mm-hmm.
But let's wrap it up with this episode. Keep it short. Cheers to you guys, and we'll catch you on the next episode. See you.
Yep. See ya.